Hey ladies and gentlemen, this is Javier with The Real Javier Lavoie channel, a platform and a modality where we apply the principles to getting free. Ladies and gentlemen, little different background for this video today. Welcome to my spa, and by spa I mean bathroom. You know, everybody needs to take time for spa, what I call it, for relaxation, for rejuvenation. And you don't have to spend any money to do it. You don't have to spend money out of the ordinary. Take a bath. Yes, an actual bath. If you don't have a bathtub, I'd recommend installing one immediately. I had an apartment years ago that didn't have a bathtub, and the first opportunity I got to actually take a bath, I took it. There's a reason that baths are so conducive to contemplation, to spiritual growth, to meditation. I'm not even kidding, guys. The Romans used to have a system of baths, and I'm sort of mimicking the Roman system now because I took a hot bath and then a cold bath. Then I put hot water on again. I'm just feeling relaxed and amazing. And if you look at all of the great individuals of status, you'll see that they took baths or they took spas. In fact, in many of the ancient houses that I've toured, I've got one of them here in Galveston, the Bishop's Palace. It's prominently noted that the master of the house has a bath in his room, or his bathroom. Everybody had a bath, whether it was the lady, whether it was the man of the house, because baths, again, were a way to relax. We're a culture now of taking showers, and showers are good too. I recommend taking one every day. But to be able to relax at the end of the day in a good bath, it's a way to decompress. And some of my best journaling and contemplation is done in the bath. So it's not eccentric. Again, it's something that all great people do or have done. So I'd recommend that you take one immediately as soon as possible. So to the heart of this video, I just wanted to talk about, because I've been contemplating this topic today, and some new inspirations came to me. Probably some new old inspirations, because nothing's really new here, but it's just a reminder for us that I wanted to go again into the difference between intentions and goals, because it's a very important difference. And I think if you have not been implementing this difference in your life, it's going to make a huge difference. It's going to make all the difference. This difference is going to make all the difference. The difference between intentions and goals. And it's really going to help you know when to take action and what inspired action is, because a lot of people are still confused about the term action, especially when great people who I've interviewed recently have said you can't do it without action, you always have to take action. Then some others say don't take action. In fact, Neville Goddard very prominently said, do not lift a finger to make it happen. And Abraham Hicks always says, never take action unless it's inspired action. Get into the vortex, and then what I want to do is I want to explain and clarify this topic in a little more relief, just so that it's easier for us in the path going forward, because going forward, we're going to be getting a lot more specific. And by the way, this is one of the videos and video formats that's going to feature prominently in our Facebook group. We've had a Facebook group since the beginning, but I did not really focus on it. Now I'm focusing a lot of energy into that Facebook group. And I will put the link to the Facebook group in the description. It's basically going to be for people who want deeper application of these materials. It's going to be for basically demonstrations, courses, very specific modalities that you can actually apply to live free. And it's going to be to the intention of, or to the result of, living free, getting free from a job and a boss within 6 months to a year. We're going to give you very concrete steps. I'm going to address questions, and it's going to be in a more interactional format. We're going to be able to have more of a conversation. I always encourage people to ask questions in the comments, but again, if you want more one-on-one time with me and a community of master manifestors, do join our Facebook group. You're going to be getting daily material that's going to move the needle for you in living free. So back to this topic and these distinctions. So what is a goal and what is an intention? And a goal is something that's necessary, guys. Both are necessary. A goal is something that is attainable, first of all, or has some sort of probability of being attained. And the attainment of that goal is something that we can do by breaking down the goal into smaller steps, setting milestones, and then simply doing the work to complete those milestones. This might be something for a company like, let's say, increase sales 5%, or increase revenues 5% for this year, or get more add-ons with each sell, or make sure that you're pitching add-ons for each sell. And this is something that the GTD system, which I follow and I implement, and we'll do more videos on this. I had the pleasure of interviewing David Allen, who's the author of GTD, or Getting Things Done. And the basic premise of this is that you set an outcome as a project or a goal, and then you ask yourself, what is the very next action I could take to get that goal achieved? And if it's more than one action, of course, you list it in your projects, then you list that action, and you complete that next action as soon as you can. And there are lists on contests and stuff like this. I have a lot of lists, I have a lot of goals, I have next actions and so on and so forth, and I incorporate that into my system. So whenever I'm in a context, I'll take the next step. That's action. There's still a lot of inspiration in that, guys, because first of all, I only look at the list of the context I'm in. So I have a list of things to do when I'm home. I have a list of things to do at work. Of course, I have a calendar, and the only actions that go on that calendar are things that have to be done that day or that time, or it blows up. So I look at all of those, and then I ask myself, first of all, what do I want to do? Second of all, what energy do I have available? And then third of all, what's the priority? What action is going to get the most bang for my buck? It's a beautiful system for that. And that's the best way to go about attaining goals. So if you have a goal, do that. It's just common sense. There are a lot of programs on goals. Brian Tracy is his name. He has great systems and programs on goals, and that's a great way to move the needle in your business. And that's a great way to have, shall we say, modulated, gradual attainment of your desires. And in about 20 or 30 years, you will be on the top of your field if you just follow goals. Now, for those of us who don't want to wait that long, intention is a term that has been best defined, developed by the entrepreneur and knower of this material, Trevor Blake. And basically what he says, an intention is a goal, but in past tense, which means that an intention is something, first of all, it's something that you want to attain, but you see it as already attained. And why do we approach it from this modality? Why not just have it put into steps and broken into action steps like other goals? Well, number two, it needs to be something that you have no idea how to achieve. So think about this. If you have a goal of being president of the United States and you're a janitor, there's almost no reason in setting out towards that goal. You'll have to get a sub-goal. For example, perhaps the janitor wants to start a business so that he can have more income, so that then he can get more influence. But you have to start way down there, first of all. Second of all, he has no idea how to get there. So making the next action, you might as well just set a goal that you can achieve, such as, becoming the manager of the janitors and then getting a business. I'm serious. You want to start that small because otherwise it's going to overwhelm you. But what an intention does is it allows you to make that statement, I am the President of the United States. Then what do? You apply all of these techniques of getting into state that's taught by interiorism, that's taught by people like Neville Goddard, to a lesser extent Abraham Hicks and others, and we teach on this channel. We will be giving you step-by-step processes of how to develop those. And basically you get it into as much detail as you can that feels good, and even you can transcend feeling by simply making it a hypothetical. So you might say, I want to be president. You might get that into fine detail. You might study where the president lives, what he does, what you would want to do, and so on and so forth. But then you might start feeling anxiety. And you'll feel anxiety because you realize that you're nowhere close to being there. And on this film roll, there's no actual possibility of you doing that. Then you can ask yourself, hypothetical, what if it were true? What if I were now in an imaginary world right now where that were true? And that will generally silence those ancient emotions. You can try to do this again and again. So basically what you want to do with an intention is you want to write something and you want to get it in as much detail as possible, but you're not allowed to say when, and you're not allowed to ask how. So you have those intentions written down, and we recommend that people actually write them down. I have about 11 or 12 right now written down, and you want to go over those, and when you go over those, say every day, you can go over them after your meditation, you want to get into the state of that, and there are various techniques for doing that. You can do what Neville Goddard said and imagine a small scene, maybe 1, 2, or 3 seconds, of what would happen following the attainment of that intention. For example, if you wanted to be president, you could perhaps see the people on the White House lawn cheering for you after your inauguration speech. Just a few seconds of that, and feel that. I don't know why I'm using becoming president as the example. Maybe it's because I just watched the debate, how crazy that was, but this could be applied to anything, right? Another way of doing that, of course, is just asking yourself, how would it feel if I were in that state, and taking on that state. You get so good at this, guys, that it doesn't really matter the modality that you're taking or the, shall we say, approach that you're using or the tool that you're using. You can use any tool and it'll end up well because you know how to do this. You know the end, and you get better and better at this. It's practice in this. That's what we're trying to do for our subscribers and our clients, is practice you into this. It's what I really do well and am able to laser focus in on personally and customarily with my coaching and consulting clients. We do coaching calls. You can email me in the description and we can set up a call for that. And I promise you, you will become a pro at getting into the state of intention. Once you get into state, that thing unfolds on the outer relatively quickly. But why are we talking about this in relation to action? Because it's the paradox. And I want to sort of explain this paradox. Intentions, by definition, are something that you cannot take action to achieve because it's already done. It's past tense. It's like Abdullah when he was telling Neville Goddard, you're in Barbados. And Neville Goddard asked Abdullah, if you've never seen this talk by Neville Goddard about Barbados, you can read it in some of his books. You can also YouTube it. Just YouTube Neville Goddard, Barbados. And he basically wanted to go to Barbados. And his teacher, who was a Kabbalistic Jewish rabbi from Ethiopia, Abdullah, told him, you are in Barbados. And you can see Barbados, you see the United States from Barbados, and basically gave him some tools and techniques to get him into that state. And then when nothing happened after a few months, Neville would go to his friend and say, how's this happening? And Abdullah would ignore him and would say, it's stupid to ask how you're going to get there if you're already there. The point of an intention is that you become it becomes you, and it simply becomes a part of you. And then paradoxically on the outer, you don't even care if you achieve it sometimes. Because here's the thing with intentions, guys, and this is a dirty little secret also that manifestation teachers won't talk about. You want the intention for the state and the person you'll become and the set of feelings that you're going to attain. If you attain those state of feelings, it's the feeling that you're after. You might find out later that a picture that I've been using is not indeed congruent with this state of feelings. And then you could drop that and you go on to the next intention. So sometimes the picture may not happen, but I promise you, you're going to be happy, if not happier, because you're going to get to what you really want. And it's sort of like an effortless process of getting to what you really want. But we'll make another video on that. Again, it goes into what are truly your desires and what are desires you're constructing simply for the sake of, say, showing off or for saying that you have something. That's something that is very deep. We've gone into it in other videos. We will be going more into it in the Facebook group because it's very important as well. So I recommend that you get on that page also. But as I was saying, Neville Goddard said, never lift a finger to get your desire or your intention because it's already yours. Now here's the paradox. Well, Abraham Hicks talks about the 3-step creation process. Number 1 is given. You ask. Number 1, you ask. And that's when the desire comes up. The very moment you have the desire, even barring any techniques, even barring writing down an intention or doing any of that, the universe already has it. If you need to write it down as an intention, that'll happen. You can't stop it from coming by doing that, but you definitely, all this other stuff is optional as to help you get into state quicker. It's to help you enjoy it while you're here, because you will eventually enjoy it. But how long do you want to wait? That's the question. So the second step of Abraham Hicks is, it's given. So again, you ask, and number 2 is given the moment you ask it. Number 3 is you've got to find some way to stop blocking it. Because according to law of attraction, you're blocking it. Now, we teach you in interiorism to go even a state above that. Because in the duality, yes, you can block it. Because if you're not feeling belief around that topic, or if you're feeling resistance around that topic, you're stopping it from coming in. But at the next level, at the level of knowing that you are the divine, at the level of knowing you already are it, then all that other stuff is just window dressing. So there's no way you can block it. So even if you block it, you can't block it, because you're now above all of that, and you can find a way for that to already be there. And then paradoxically, going down to the second level, that removes all the blocks. So an easy way to remove all the blocks, and even Zera Mahun, who's a law of attraction coach, admitted as much in our last interview a few days ago. I'd encourage you to go watch that. She said, yes, if you have what she calls trust and belief, what we call the knowing of who you are, then all of those obstacles can simply be blown through. And Abraham Hicks talks about this too. She said if the desire is strong enough, it will break through resistance. So all of this other stuff, you're just playing a game, and it's all to feel better. So the main point is intentions are non-actionable. You cannot act on them. Now, you may be inspired to action, but the condition of this action is that you're not seeking an outcome. The moment you're seeking an outcome, oh, this has to happen when I take this action, then you're back into just the worldly action. You're trying to attain a goal, and then you fall into all those laws of probability, and it might not happen, and so on and so forth. But if you're taking an action simply for the joy of taking it, that is an inspired action. And what you're going to realize is that looking back, you will see that that action took you towards your intention. But you cannot act towards an intention forward looking. That was so great, and it's something that was not scripted. And I just want to say it again. You can only see the cause and effect actions that made your intention happen looking back. But you cannot plan for an intention to happen looking forward. So if you have your GTD system, intentions are separate from that system. The only action that you can take is harmonizing with it, getting into the state of it, and accepting and receiving it. Say thank you, guys. It's your inheritance. What does an inheritor do to get his inheritance? If you were the son of Jeff Bezos is going to will you billions of dollars. You don't have to take any action for that. You just say, thank you, Dad. The same here. You received an intention, you say, thank you, Dad. And before you know it, you're going to see that happen on the physical, but don't make it a condition. Give it to yourself now, enjoy it now, and there's no action that you have to take. So I just wanted to go on that little talk, guys, about actions, and hopefully it would clear up some of the confusion surrounding goals, intentions, and actions. So thanks for watching. Remember, I am doing coaching calls. I'll put my email in the description. Please subscribe to the channel. We're about 25 away from 1,000 subscribers. It's going to help me get the information more out there. It's going to help us get more interviews, and it's going to help me continue to deliver quality material to help change the lives of many people, help people get free. Again, I encourage you to join our Facebook group, which I will put in the description. So until very soon, this is Javier with The Real Javier Novoa, bidding you a very great weekend.